shoot, I said that you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That flash making a portrait. Gun kick back, now grannies from porches. David on the sea, you know that it's scorching. What's the man with king? No response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You from the game and shoot, I said that you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. And on this incredible Wednesday, the day before the Knicks parade, go Knicks, go Knicks, go Knicks, go Knicks. Yeah, I'm a fraud. So what? So what? That's right, Mission Lanez, boy. I brought this probably, like 10 years ago. Still look good, boy. Still look good. Hold on. I brought this when Carmelo was down with the squad. You heard me? Yeah. I'm a Carmelo Anthony fan. Yeah. The kid look good in this. Yeah, hold on. Go Knicks. Woo. Yeah, that Max B joint with French Montana. I went deaf on the Knicks. Hell yeah. About to turn up. City about to be flipped. It's crazy. Listen, I'm going to tell you to celebrate responsibly. Don't listen to Funk Master Flex. Don't be sticking your hands in nobody cash registers. You heard me? Because somebody might have that ooh-ah bang and send you into the long good night. And we won't see you again. Understand, don't let your first celebration be your last celebration. A lot of you dudes are just there to be there, to act stupid. But I want to give a shout out to Eric Von Eric. Yes, sir. Let's go. McFig, what's happening? Liz versus the world. What's going on? What is that? Manny GL? Yeah. Jeremy Brown. Webb Dave is in the building. Lamont Davis is here. You pulled up. Be nice. Arnie, you made it. Look who it is. Shout out to you. Shout out to us. Shout out to everybody that's here. Share it out, please. Do me a favor. Share it out to Blue Skies. Blue Skies, I be having a problem, man. Shout out to Blue Skies. Yo, excuse me. Excuse me. Allergies, boy. Yo, tell me why we planted these plants, right? It's not plants, it's trees. We planted these trees and got the mulch, got everything. Nobody told me I had to reintroduce these red worms into the nutrients of the ground. So I brought these new trees, and they cost the kid a pretty penny. And the trees is there, and they ain't doing well. So I'm bugging out. So I buy all this stuff, this food and stuff. And my boy at the farmer's market was like, yo, you got the worms, right? I'm like, the worms? Magnum Force was good. You heard? Hashtag no PlayStation 6. We up in here. So I'm like, the worms? What the hell you mean the worms? Yo, you don't got the worms to make the compost to do the stuff? I said, nah. He said, just check it. Buy yourself a large pumpkin. Fill it up with premium dirt. Put the worms in there, but also let the worms have something to feed on, right? Like banana peels, eggshells, stuff like that. No meat, none of that stuff. All right? Hold on a second. So I'm like, all right, no doubt. I got that. All right, I'll make it happen. All right, cool. Do that. Tell me why I got a pumpkin, a carved out pumpkin in the back with dirt with worms. But I brought this thing like this canopy to shield the trees so the trees don't be burnt up by the sun. Right? Because they're in their little infancy stages, right? They don't want to be shocked. They into the new environment. Buddy, I'm now out there with my face in the grass, pulse. doing tree stuff. You never know what the day calls for you. You don't know. It's always a new day. And it's always a fun day. So did everybody get a chance to see what Jason Schreier was talking about? I got a chance to watch that. And I'm not going to say, I am going to say, but I didn't know that he had a YouTube channel. And then, that ain't too bad. You see, what I try to explain to people before they go extinct, you are your own commodity. You yourself are more valuable than working for a corporation. But explaining that to people is like explaining how to fly to somebody. Right? It's very difficult. If they can't wrap their mind around it, it'll never happen for them. They will never get it done. So when Destin went his way from IGN, I championed it all the way. Actually, I told him before that. Before Colt even, was offered Dealer's Show, I told him he needs to go do his own thing. He needs to put his face on camera and make it happen. I told the same thing to Fonz. The reason why I say these things is because I understand that the value that you have is within yourself. You just got to believe in yourself. You got to believe, because there's nobody else is going to be your bigger supporter than yourself. You got to believe. So when Jason is over there at Bloomberg, it's a ticking time bomb. Like, working for anybody other than yourself is a ticking time bomb. It's like, at any day, they could say, today's your last day. But only you can give up on you. So if you do your own thing, if you work your own way, you make your stuff happen, you figure it out yourself, then you're setting yourself up to ultimately win. Right? Kind of like how Microsoft and Xbox. See, a lot of people might be surprised by the title because they think that I don't give Xbox their smoke, but I'm not giving Xbox smoke. I'm giving Microsoft smoke. I already told you before. I don't like Microsoft. I love Xbox. And I know a lot of people, man, that's the same thing, King. Well, that's not the same thing when y'all reporting money, right? So it's not the same thing. Because if it's the same thing, then when y'all are reporting Microsoft is X amount of dollars, y'all say that's not Xbox, right? So, okay, so y'all got to keep the same energy. Now, I'm seeing a lot of things across the industry, and I see a lot of people doing scrambling moves to make stuff a super successful. Now, if you are part of the members, I just dropped a video probably 10 minutes ago. And that video gives you the price point of the steam machine and all the intricacies. I'm not a leaker, but some information fell in my lap, and I said, what the hell? Let me give Nate the Hate a run for his money. Right? Why not, right? You're here. It's Friday. You ain't got nothing to do. So you might as well just go do it, right? I'm putting my 98% up for grabs. That's what I'm doing. So either I am the victor or I'm going to fail miserably. Either or is my thing to do because I'm my own boss. Now, I've seen a lot of companies do some stuff in order to make themselves viable going forward. And one of the bigger companies that actually shocked me when they did this, because I thought they were too big to fail. I thought, honestly, that they were assuring. Well, apparently, Rockstar is a little concerned. This is brought to you by Cade Onda at IGN. Rockstar dishes out free Grand Theft Auto 5 to current gen upgrades to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One owners. And I know you're going to say, well, that's nothing. What up, Bone Slave? I salute you, soldier. It's Cali family. That dude I'm super proud of. You understand? Super proud of him. Super proud of him. I'm proud of all of them. I'm proud of all of them. It's crazy because it's from where we were to where we are. We grew as men from where we were to where we are. And it's blessings. Blessings. So if you own a digital copy of Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Xbox One or any kind of copy on PlayStation 4, you'll be entitled to a free upgrade to the current gen versions of the game starting tomorrow, June 18th. Well, let me say this. The PlayStation, you can have a digital or physical copy. The Xbox, you have to have a digital copy. That lets you know where both are in the whole ecosystem of digital versus physical. PlayStation's more physical, at least PlayStation 4. Xbox has always been pushing their clientele to digital. Rockstar Games announced that the upgrades, while detailing the Grand Theft Auto Online's big update, which arrived in July, Rockstar specified that these upgrades will apply to the digital version of Xbox One and any copy of the PlayStation 4, which seems to include physical copies as well. Presumably, this will only apply within the platform families of the PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, for example. As it has been the case for years, you'll also be able to migrate all of your progress over, ensuring everything that you've earned transfers with you. Currently, Grand Theft Auto 5 costs $40 on current platforms as of this deal. If you haven't been interested in double or triple dipping in Grand Theft Auto 5, Rockstar is making things easier for you. The current gen console versions of Grand Theft Auto 5 have been available since March 2022. And while it isn't wildly dramatic leap from the last gen, it does provide a much smoother experience thanks to things like 60 frames per second. Now, I know you're going to ask me, why is this a thing? Well, the fact that they're doing some more updates to Grand Theft Auto 5 online, which is insane. In a year in which they're going to be doing Grand Theft Auto 6, Grand Theft Auto 5 online is a whole universe within itself, right? And a lot of you guys got caught up into that stuff. I haven't got caught up into that stuff. But I'm only saying this to say that they're unsure. They're trying to get people from the previous gen over. There's 60 million consoles out there, Xbox One and PlayStation 4 consoles that are being used. And those players haven't migrated over to this generation for whatever reason. And Rockstar is looking at 60 million could possibly just miss out on a game that, trust me, you want to see layoffs if this game don't hit. Buddy, I wouldn't even want to fathom what a miss if Grand Theft Auto 6 misses. What that does to the industry. I pack it up. Pack it up. Everyone, pack it up. You know the only ones that won't be affected by that is these dudes. These dudes. Yeah. These dudes will not be affected by that at all. You know why? Because it doesn't go there. You know who else won't be affected by that? That Steam machine. Like I said, I dropped a video and that video is detailing a lot about the Steam machine. So if you're interested in the Steam machine, I got you, baby. But, oh, Web Dave, let's get it. Let's go.
At WebDave donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Ponies know they are dying and are scared of Ashes Xbox. Double exclamation mark emoji. Brainula panic attack shows Xbox exclusively scares ponies, let him suffer, he looks a fool.
You know, I agree with you. They're terrified at what she's going to do because, all right, surface level PlayStation dudes look at it like Xbox is dead. You know, surface level PlayStation dudes and grifters will form it in a manner that says Xbox is dead. Deep thinkers over in the PlayStation camp are going to look at it as the reset that Xbox needed to do. Anybody with half a brain understood that Xbox was going to get all these studios, right? Because remember, if you watch Jason Schreier's video, I think it's like an hour long, maybe, I don't know, 45 minutes, something like that. If you watch it, I was watching it after I had worked out and I was eating my duck eggs and sardines with some coconut water with a little Baja salt and some lemon with some apple cider vinegar. I know it sounds so delightful. No, actually, I'm being serious with you. I mean, it tastes delicious. And coconut water with apple cider vinegar weirdly tastes good for some weird reason. But I guess I was depleted because I worked out, which is really crazy. Well, it's not crazy that I worked out. It's just crazy that it tastes weirdly delicious, like juice. But I was watching this video and he made sense in some aspects about what was going on, what was asked of them, and what happened and what transpired. And I think the biggest problem with Xbox is Microsoft, right? I believe Microsoft is the largest problem to Xbox based upon, and I'm piggybacking off of his thought process because I love to have deep conversations with individuals that actually think, right? Not surface level fanboy crap, because again, I can joke around and play around. I could play a whole game with you and I can actually tell you a whole bunch of stuff, but there's reasonings behind the stuff that I say. Some people are blinded by the character and not listening to the logic because they're already turned off by the character because the character already offended their sensibilities when it came to whatever machine that they loved. So when they feel that their machine was threatened, they already dismissed whatever logic that I gave them. And it's sound logic. Now, he mentions how the multi-tier faceted aspect of Microsoft itself is at odds with a lot of things that goes on with Xbox, which is true. That's the aspect that I've told you before. I've explained to you that the ambitions of Satya is to the detriment of everything else. He has got it fixated in his head that the zero sum to nothing is the AI win. Because I believe there's a lot of regrets in the building of Microsoft, right? The cell phone, they feel that they could have challenged Steve Jobs when it came to the iPhone, and I think they feel a kind of way with Mixer, and it's a lot of failed projects. The Zune, in which they have caught the wave too late. And I feel that he thinks that he's on the cusp of greatness here because he feels that he can outspend and outpace everyone in this space with AI. But fundamentally, what you're doing is siphoning whatever resources that you have or making it harder for your subdivisions to get the components that they need based upon you're outbidding Xbox for components that Xbox would need in order to produce enough consoles for sale. So when you're using all those components for data centers, regardless to the damage that you're doing to your infrastructure that you need, because you're demanding things from this infrastructure, which is Xbox, you put them in a lose-lose situation. There's not a situation where you can say, and see, as a great boss would do one for me, one for you. 1, 2 for me, 1 for you. 1, 3 for me, 1 for you. As they buy, they give this to a discount. See, they could have procured so much RAM, so much storage for the Xbox that they could have flooded the market with Xboxes to the point that now you have to lean heavily on your marketing. But when you asked of these divisions to produce games, and when they start to produce the games and they don't reach the return off investment that you're looking for based upon the money that you've spent and you're looking for more money, they are the byproduct of your ambitions. What happens here is the problem. I've studied this, I looked at this, and I'm so thankful that somebody else with a larger audience was able to convey those same sentiments to individuals based upon the same logic. Now, mind you, I'm surprised my eyeballs is not running my eye drops is here. Like my wife be like, you got your eye drops? It's crazy out there. So let me tell you something. If you looked at the stock market, the world isn't happy with Microsoft right now, especially based upon what they feel that they're about to do to studios that they need. You can't build yourself a service that depends on the games. Get the studios, but tell them under duress, produce. See, that's not how creative people work. Creative people work in environments that help them thrive. It's the Indigo Children's prophecy. See, us Generation X children grew up under high stress environments, isolation that fostered our ability to cope, change, and grow. We're problem solvers, Generation X. Indigo children, this latest children, they can solve problems too with no problem. They're highly intelligent. They're more adaptable to technology. They're more empathic to feelings. The Generation X is a little stone with their feelings. But the children needs environment that fosters growth. That's the creative mind. If you put the creative mind under stress, oh, you need 30%, you need to make this stuff happen. They're not going to produce. Now, when you tell somebody, I need games for Game Pass, and let's take Double Fine, for instance, right? With Sweeper, what is it? Keeper, I keep saying Sweeper. I'm thinking of Minesweeper. With Keeper and Kiln. two titles that fit absolutely inside Game Pass. Those are two titles that absolutely outside of Game Pass probably wouldn't find an audience, right? Am I right? But introducing them to Game Pass allows those games to find an audience. Now, if you condition Game Pass to market properly, then you would see an uptick in games that you want to have visible eyes on. See, I have ideas that can actually make Game Pass a whole better proposition when people are looking for the next best game. Recommendation cycles, and they actually have visuals and different things that goes along with it. That will go along with the marketing beat, but they don't ever use that aspect of having actual direct contact with consumer. They don't use it. So those games go unseen and unheard. But then you're looking at that same developer and you're saying, well, you didn't produce and we allowed you to make these games. And then when they say, but you told us to make these games, you told us to make games like this to fit inside Game Pass in order to give volume and diversity to Game Pass. Yeah, but that was the old regime. Well, you don't get a chance to pull that on the developers. It takes at least 3 to 5 years in order to build the title out. This ain't Legos where you just build a little house real quickly. This is time and effort that is needed. And expecting all these titles to hit a critical mass, well, then that boils down to your vetting process. Because when you have a vetting process that actually asks the question of what is the game going to be, what's the dynamics of the game, what's the storyboards, what are we looking at here, how much is it going to cost to fund, and where are the deliverables, and what are we looking at on delivery? When you have those type of things in place, which I think were sorely missing, then you will get timely delivered games. One of the titles that is baffling the hell out of me is Senua. And to have Ninja Theory up to bat after showing them inside a showcase in which you got the crowd hype for the next installment to the Hellblade series with introducing, they're going to be using motion capture and new updated combat system, which was the biggest problem with Hellblade 1 and 2, was the combat. Wasn't the puzzles, wasn't the visuals. It was the combat, the lack thereof. The combat felt samey. It felt not as dynamic as other games. So the combat held it back from having a higher Metacritic score, right? Well, this is brought to you by Windows Central and Brandon Lowry. Microsoft and Xbox plan to close Senua's studio, Ninja Theory, when it revealed it at Xbox Game Showcase. For fans of the cinematic action adventure game series Hellblade, one of the most exciting announcements from Xbox's recent Xbox Game Showcase was the reveal of Senua. The third entry in the franchise is set to bring broader gameplay, more combat depth, and an interconnected world that is scheduled for 2027 release. Just over a week after the show, however, it's come to light that Hellblade developer Ninja Theory, alongside several others at Xbox Studios, is at risk of being shuttered by the brand's publishing division. Reportedly, Ninja Theory, Double Fine, Compulsion Games, and others are in active negotiations for the fate of their teams. That revelation came as the complete surprise to Xbox fans, with the news of Ninja Theory's situation the most shocking of all. Why would Microsoft and Xbox announce a new game from the studio that is set to come out next year if it's planned to close in the next coming weeks? By the time the game was revealed, Microsoft had already planned to sunset or split with the studio rights, game files, Stefan Totillo. The thinking was that the promise of a newly announced game will help draw investors' interest in the studios. Separately, and let me tell you something, that is idiot thought processing, right? Separately, according to the source in contact with The Verge, the end of the Ninja Theory's time as Xbox Studio is all but confirmed, and its employees are hoping the studio will find a buyer. It's unknown if the developers are aware that Microsoft plans at the time of Senua's announcement. The fate of Senua itself is also unclear right now. So, let's see this game. I really hate that. Hold on. I really hate that. Let me go get this daggone game, bro. Let me get this game. I hate that. I hate that because when I want to show something, I want to show something. And I don't want to whatchamacallit. Now, hold on. Let me get that super chat. Apollo Dingo 3583 with the $2 super chat. King took the red pill. King put the cult. Oh, King out the cult. Cut it out, boy. I'm still drinking Kool-Aid. I was never down with Microsoft. Now, we know from the previous games that this is the actual visuals, right? This is the visuals. We never had a problem with that. But what happens is when you build up a series, you gotta let it cook. This is probably, outside of Gears, one of their best looking franchises. Look at it. Now, it did do the same story beats, the same angles. We need better combat. You see? Now, you mean to tell me that they're that diabolical that they're going to show this game looking this good just to bring in investors to buy the studio? How diabolical and evil is that? To the audience that's sitting there, that's getting hype for your game. Fans of the series that you built up. Now, this is the part here. Xbox Play Anywhere, Xbox Game Pass. They told you it was coming out for the Xbox Series consoles, PC, Cloud, Steam, and PlayStation 5. I need everybody in Unisys to be upset at the same time with me. You can't just be upset just as an Xbox guy. If you're in this chat and you are a PlayStation dude and you happen to like Hellblade, well then that game, as probably as complete as the story is still up in the air. Think about it this way. Studio closes, studio doesn't go on, game dies. Why the hell? That's a question that you will actually have to answer. You got to answer for that. That's the biggest dick tease I've ever seen. Pause. Is it not? Double Fine didn't have nothing to show, right? Double Fine didn't have anything to show. So cool. We get that. Compulsion didn't have anything to show. But Double Fine just dropped 2 games. I think Double Fine just dropped 2 games in a span of 6-8 months. Right? So you telling the people that's producing, yo, I don't know. And then you got to do with the next up that's showing his joint. Pause. You're like, I know we just put your trailer out there. We got them all hype and they all wilding and stuff. And they really like your trailer and stuff, B. But we gonna have to cut you. Yo, that's like waiting to the end of the day and you know you was gonna fire somebody, but you had them do all the work in the building. Yo, that's how dudes go postal. That's how dudes go postal. You knew you was gonna fire me in the morning, but you let me work the day. Like I care about whatever the day pay was. I could have stayed home. You could have fired me over the phone. I didn't have to drive there. I didn't have to pay a toll, or I didn't have to ride the train. JC 4 Eyes with the $2 super chat. Satya said Asha is the hitman and Xbox is the target. I don't really think so, JC. You know, sometimes cleaning up things isn't easy. Do you think? Now let's play devil's advocate. Now let's get serious. Let's get serious now. Do you think Phil knew? Do you think Phil knew? Do you think Sarah knew? I think this stuff takes on a whole different context now in light of this, right? Because we can all agree that anything Asha has done at this moment, except for outside of a couple of things, was stuff that was implemented or put in play by Sarah and Phil, right? So we can give them the bulk of credit for a lot of things, but then we got to give us some credit for certain stuff, probably replacing and repealing what Game Pass price was, but removing Call of Duty out of Game Pass. Her thing is always a monkey's paw. I'm going to give you this, but it's going to cost you this. Right? It's always a monkey's paw. You always got to think out your wishes. She's like a bad genie. Right? It's like you're looking at the genie, you rub the bottle, it pop open. The genie asks you, what do you want? If you're an idiot, like that stupid movie Obsession, I want her to love me more than anybody in the world. You say something stupid like that. Or if you're King David, you say, I want exclusives. I want exclusives back. Okay, you want exclusives. How about E-Day? Oh, hell yeah. Okay. How about Clockwork Revolutions? You're goddamn right. Yes, exclusives is back. You doing it. Y'all ain't getting anything. But wait, King. Did you like Senua? Yeah, I like that. I can't wait to play it. What if I told you that they're going away? I'll say you're crazy. What the hell are you talking about? Well, you do want exclusives, right? No, there's a margin, and we haven't been meeting it for years. Don't come with your logic, B. Don't try to logic speak me. Well, Kim wasn't widespread. It didn't hit the audience that we expected, and Keeper, well, what? Well, South of Midnight, they did have the problem with the community manager, and the game sales didn't hit. You like South of Midnight, right? Yeah. I love the franchise. I can't wait to get part 2. Like what's up with part 2? I haven't heard from Compulsion. Is Compulsion okay? But you want exclusives, right, King? Like you wanted the price to go down in Game Pass. And we're looking at the genie. And we're saying, what's next? What's absolutely next? Because now you're looking at your body parts and you're saying, what can I lose? What can I lose and what must I keep? Because if you're looking at the whole and the totality of Xbox Studios and the games that they showed, the worst tease in the world was to show you Senua. Xbox, this is Asha's complete first rake. Xbox, I don't know, to my memory, maybe right now I'm just so angered at the thought of showing a game coming out. But this isn't unprecedented. This isn't unprecedented. They did this shit already. Like, we should know them already, right? Wait, time out. I'll show you. Because I was there. You can hear me screaming in the audience. I was there.
Good luck, Agent.
I was there. They did this shit already. They did it already. I was there. They did it 2 showcases in a row. I was there. They did it already. This is the second time they did it. The first time hurt worse.
I was wrong.
Welcome to Garden City, where it's a pleasant 23 degrees all day, every day.
They did this already. You remember this? How dope does it look? How dope does it look?
Also tracking his whereabouts. You need to
I was in the crowd going crazy. I remember this. They did it already.
voice print.
Yo, you know I was sitting there saying I can't wait to do that move. I can't wait to do this. That's what I said. I can't wait. Yo, it's gonna be a part in this
What readings are you getting?
where I said
We're getting odd readings from your monitor.
I actually audibly yelled.
I'm looking at the screen right now.
Right? Check it. You saw that? You saw the little smoke? Yo, this is the biggest fake out. They did it. This is a better fake out than the Senua fake out.
We know.
But they did this shit already.
Turns out
Look at
to be a
this.
lie.
Look at this.
There's only one way
They want me to
forward.
believe that this was a vertical slice.
Find the truth.
They want me to believe that this game wasn't real.
It's clear.
This is the part when I went nuts. Here it is. Money gonna peek his little head out. Slide under. Us. All right, she gonna do the thing. She gonna go over here. She gonna see this. When they try to break in, and she up that blicky, and then she get busy with it. Right here. This part. We found you. We found your ass. You here. Boom. This part. Right here. Bop. Oh.
I could use some.
Let's make it happen. Right? Ah. Boom. Crack. Up the blicky on him. Get down. Bust out. Jump over the kick. Get him. That part. I said I can't wait to do to get him. Bop, bop. Slow motion. Bop. Kick. Bop, bop. Fruit moving. Remember that? Ha. Infrared. Bop. Smoke through the smoke.
Everything.
Make it happen. Remember this?
Before I could see.
You had the crowd going crazy.
What this world was really hiding.
The world was really hiding that they was lying the whole time.
I hope you're ready, Agent Dark.
Are you all seeing this?
Once you open this door,
They did this shit 2 showcases in a row. Are you upset now? Are you upset now? If you ain't upset, when you gonna start? Are you upset now? If you ain't upset, hold on. Start? Quiet, boy, quiet. Now I know that the usual suspects that was sitting in the bushes is hopping out now. I gotta tell you, man, pop your collar, talk your ish. I have been clowning this former CEO since they let him out the building in security and turned off his key card. I'm surprised that I didn't hear from Mikey Barry yet, the only man to get fired, and they purchased the company just to fire him again. I'm surprised I didn't hear from him. Right? I mean, he's the usual suspect. Let's go! Drink some of this sour sop juice.
At Minimum FRC donated $2 through Super Chat. He also did it to Scalebound. But still hashtag NOP6.
Facts, hashtag no PlayStation 6. We still gonna run it up on the pups. Yo! You know what's crazy? Now, I see the Scalebound thing. I would have canceled it too. I played it. Trust and believe, it was not a pretty picture. I didn't get a chance to play Perfect Dark, and I ain't played Senua. But that Scalebound, though, I got a chance to play it. I got a chance to see it. I don't know where COG was, but I was over with Square, and this was early on in Iron Lord's infancy, and okay, because I had Hot Monkeys. I think I got that on video someplace. I got to figure out where that video is. But the game wasn't it. It was not it by a long shot. But anyway, I didn't even want to play it anymore. But I got to give this guy his props because, I mean, he held on long enough in order to have the last laugh. Because, again, Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name, put him in the dirt. And his key card didn't work. But, he went on to be highly successful as a consultant for Tencent. You know, then he went on also to help make sure with his little liaison, you know, James Bond villain type of tactics to get games exclusive over to the PlayStation platform outside of Jim Ryan, because Jim Ryan was the ops. But when those blue dudes bleed blue, they bleed blue for life. Xbox dudes bleed green only while they're on the same team. The moment they're gone, they are turned to rats. They are spitting out stuff. They're telling, I don't like this. And they got YouTube channels. And when I was there and all that other stuff, I swear to God, Xbox, those dudes, former employees, they got tell-all books after they finish. I don't know what brainwashing they do over at PlayStation. Xbox really needs to look into that. Need to figure that out. And make sure that those dudes don't say anything like PlayStation dudes. But Xbox dudes, they turn into Tekashi 6ix9ine. They get rainbow hair and all that. All right, so former PlayStation boss said, and this is brought to you by Game Radar and Scott McRae. Former PlayStation boss says Xbox shows a basic misunderstanding of the games industry. Oh, buddy. Okay, so again, remember, I have a complete bias when it comes to him. But for the sake of reading the article, I have to be impartial. I have to read it, and I have to be cool with reading what I'm going to hear, right? The former PlayStation boss, Sean Lading, says that the Xbox recent moves implies that those involved lack an understanding on how the game industry works. To give Xbox credit, though, the throughout the 2000s or 2020s, it has been a perfect example of how to entirely be inconsistent. From deciding to become a multi-platform publisher to changing its mind with the likes of Gears of War E-Day, only for rumors to emerge that actually it might change its mind again, which is absolutely not true. But again, I gotta read the article. I can't rebut things that has already been rebut. And that was nothing more than a way to advertise to increasingly shortchange Xbox fan base. And sure, Xbox CSO Matthew Ball denies this. But forgive me if I'm not taking info at face value from a publisher that announced a new Senua game just over a week before reports emerged that Microsoft is apparently planning to close its developer Ninja Theory. All of this to say that there's definitely feeling coming out of Xbox that there's a bit of an identity crisis going on. And when the game consultant, Kelly, Tygog Kelly, pointed out some of these recent inconsistencies, Viva Respawn First, the former chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios, the former president and CEO of American Branch, Sean Layden, commented on Xbox recent moves at the risk of sounding like a hater, which I'm really not. The moves invents a basic misunderstanding of how the interactive entertainment world moves, he writes. Unfortunately, it's hard to argue with Sean Layden's perspective, as the string of seemingly random decisions out of Xbox, as well as things like leadership changes and mixed messaging, have inspired more confusion than hope for the console maker and the publisher. Even as someone who hasn't exactly been on team Xbox since the 360, I mean, why would I be when I can play all of their games on PC and PlayStation 5? A healthy Xbox is better for the industry overall, but a company that has rounds of layoffs and studios closures seemingly as often as it releases games can't really be called healthy, can it? Now, I can't argue with his logic. His logic is sound in the fact that he's reporting and talking about what he sees. And it's understandable for industry insiders to have this type of skepticism based upon previous deeds. If you're a detective and you go and you see a perp, that's a perpetrator, and you see a perp, and the perp MO is embezzlement and counterfeiting, and you look at the parameters of the crime, and the crime is counterfeiting and adjacent to some other stuff in fraud or whatever. That perp will be a highly visible suspect to have done that crime. Now, they're looking at Xbox's previous misdeeds and attributing to what could possibly be an indictment on future behavior. You see, they come out and they say E-Day is exclusive, but you just showed Senua. You come out and say Clockwork Revolution is exclusive, but you just closed your quadruple A studio, The Initiative, that had Perfect Dark. Legendary Yobi, I salute you, soldier, sent one Xbox Frontline gift membership. I salute you, soldier, blessings. And I want everybody in the chat to salute their brother and to salute Legendary Yobi and put the crown with the lion in the chat with the blood in his mouth to welcome your frontline soldier to the ranks. The biggest problem with Xbox, and let me tell you how I would handle a situation of that magnitude, of showing a game and the game studio being closed down after you worldwide showed it to millions of people. Come hella high water. Your game makes it into the showcase, you're safe until deliverables. But it's incumbent upon me as the publisher to make sure that your game makes it to the finish line. If I'm putting unrealistic deadlines on you, well, then unrealistic deadlines will be there. If we're going to work in crunch, then we're going to work in crunch. We're going to do whatever we're going to do to make sure that those games meet the standards that the public expect and deliver to that same expecting public that sat there in those seats, that took their time out to see our game. We owe it to them to make those games real. There's a reason why there's a segment of the fan base that still screams scalebound. They've been burnt by you previously. They didn't have the same opportunity that I had to play the game. And I could dismiss their opinion towards it all I want. That still doesn't take away their excitement for something that you showed. That still doesn't take away my excitement for Perfect Dark. I didn't name the initiative a quadruple A studio. You did. What the hell did that mean? Right? Let's go. Let's get it.
At Carrot Strong 4702 donated $5 through Super Chat. Xbox Series came out 20 is better than the PS5 Pro. The easiest way to play games is through Xbox. You buy a console and use a capture card with a PC.
Facts. That's what I do right here. You see my MZXT capture card? It's right here. Hold on. It's right here. That's what I do. Facts. I like I said, I like the Xbox ecosystem a whole lot better. But to round out the topics, and this is brought to you from Windows Central and my man Jez. I'm going to tell you something. I like Jez. I like Jez as a person. I like Jez as a content creator. I like Jez as a writer. I like him as a journalist, an investigative journalist. He has a big heart. He's a genuine person. I do. That's why I was really taken aback when individuals felt that to hurt somebody's feelings that is like that based upon their perception or their appreciation for another console versus their perception on where he lies when it comes to the console conversation. It's a real sick world. But again, I'm a 70s baby. I don't give a shit. I'll fight you to the death. Xbox and Microsoft is, in general, really reminds me of the old web comic called Persistence. Depicted above, it shows two dudes mining as one gives up right before hitting the diamonds. Now, he doesn't have it here. Some Xbox teams just haven't delivered profitability Microsoft wants, but that's not all of them. Now he's going to go on. He said Xbox has a variety of headwinds to contend with, as does the entire gaming industry. Xbox CEO Asha Sharma, the Empress, has suggested that Microsoft gaming division will finish the year with only a 3% accountability margin. The lion's share of the blame falls on the ill-fated Game Pass price hike, now reversed, the memory availability crisis, and a soft year for both Call of Duty, Candy Crush Saga. Both of these things would abate over time. Microsoft instinct has long been to cut and run at the wrong time. It's potentially making the same mistakes now, too, in my view. Now, the reason why I bring up this article, and y'all can continue to read the article because Jez does good work. The reason why I bring up that article is because I believe this time is completely different. I believe this time the one puppet master that's pulling the strings is Satya. I believe that his ambitions in the AI arena is forcing and festering and destroying gaming as a whole. Now, his mindset is, and let me tell you what the mindset of the CEO over at NVIDIA, Anthropic, and OpenAI. If not me, then who? If I don't do it, then somebody will. That's the mindset of a drug dealer. If I don't go get this bread, if I don't go sell this, then somebody else is. Somebody else gonna get paid. Now, I want to be him. I want to be the big guy. I want to be the one that makes AGI. I want to be the one that controls everything. Because when I'm in place, ain't nothing gonna stop me. And nothing's ever enough. You see, what drug dealers do is destroy their community. Starting with the families, and then all the way down to the youth. So the community is destroyed as a whole. Now, taking that same analogy, look over to what Microsoft, NVIDIA, Anthropic, OpenAI, and other AI companies, to a lesser extent, is doing to the gaming industry and the industry as a whole. Their greed and need has placed GPUs out of reach. They have reached their hands into the storage situation and forced components to reach astronomical prices. Those same thoughts and ideologies that they're using, which is used by a drug dealer, is destroying our communities when it comes to gaming. Fundamentally, they are forcing layoffs, studio closures, game defundment, breaking up homes, families, making people homeless, all in the pursuit of an ambition that is ultimately going to lead to their destruction. Because just like the drug dealer, the end of the road is death or in jail. Well, chasing AGI, the end of the road is death or imprisonment. Because if you build something smarter, greater than yourself, that looks at you as lesser than, you will be enslaved or eradicated. This is a cautionary tale that we've lived this long to grow this high, to get to a space where gaming is at its all-time best. We have some of the greatest games come out this year, some more to look forward to. If you looked at my Phantom Blade Zero preview, the Halo preview, the Tomb Raider preview, Crazy Taxi preview, you understand my excitement for the gaming industry is incredible. My love for this medium knows no bounds. I actually am happy for the surprises that I do get, because I tend to not look at my DMs at all leading up to these shows, because like a child, I want to be wild. I want the wonderment and the magic. But when going to shows and they can show you something and then take it away, that's downright despicable and evil. But then you're going to blame it on the conditions in which you're causing. Yo, let's go. So Tech was
Smelly
good.
Wrestling Geek donated $5 through Super Chat. Do you think this reset is a precursor to Microsoft spinning off Xbox as a subsidiary?
Well, if they spin them off as a subsidiary, that would take years for them to do. That's not something that they would do very quickly. The reason why Asha gave you 4 years because she has 4 years to make Xbox profitable. If it's not profitable within 4 years, I believe that spinoff would happen. But then you're looking at 2030, where I don't think video games is going to be much of an idea anyway. I think by 2030, the way we see video games, the way we play video games, the way video games is consumed is going to be upside down, completely different. That's the reason why I told you hashtag no PlayStation 6. It's because fundamentally, price-wise, we won't be able to afford these consoles. If you get a chance to see my video that I put up talking about the Steam machine and the price point, you're going to hear a whole bunch of stuff in that video that is going to shock you and it's going to amaze you. But again, I think a lot of this stuff is getting out of hand, is getting out of reach, and there's no going back because no one wants to lose out. They're running a death marathon. And it's costing us. Soon you won't be able to get a GPU. Soon you probably won't be able to upgrade your PC because the CPU and the storage and everything else will be so astronomically high that it's not going to be feasible for you to do so. But none of these corporations want you to have anything anyway. They want you to totally depend on them. You know something? Let me tell you something. You know what I heard? Because I did say this and I did lead this inside that video with Steam. I did lead this in there. I got word in a conversation I had with engineer, and me and him is talking, and not the engineer that you know. It's a friend of mine. He works inside the industry, and he doesn't work for Microsoft. Okay, so it's not Jason Ronald. But me and this guy is talking, and I said, listen, fundamentally, how can Xbox actually achieve an attainable Project Helix that they can get to you and it be at a cost that makes absolute sense? And he said, well, when is it launching? I said, well, say late 2027, early 28. He said, there's 3 possible ways in which they can get a machine to you that is like $500, $600. That the components in the machine is so minimal that they're leveraging those unused data centers, those Azure Cloud data centers, in which we're already used to all of our stuff being online. They're shipping out boxes that really don't fundamentally have any working mechanics because, again, they're going to ship your machine that doesn't have a disk drive. And that machine will leverage the power of the cloud. And I said, well, what about those territories that don't have infrastructures built in place that can facilitate those cloud-based gaming things? He said, that's the reason why they're still selling the Series S and X. Because that's not the target audience. Their target audience is metropolises. So like NVIDIA, they can charge you for gaming time, put a cap on your gaming time, rent out a service to you for your gaming time. Remember, they just finished talking about something that you're able to purchase games and pay later. They're testing out something different, and that's an idea. We saw the rise of a firm after COVID. Keep in mind all the stuff that I tell you. But this is Xbox Frontline News with your boy, The King. If you're going to the Knicks parade tomorrow, I want you to be responsible. If you're a gray beard like myself, you waited for this time for a long time. I'm an absolute fraud. I really don't care. I am a Carmelo Anthony fan. I brought this back when Carmelo Anthony was on the team. But I want you to know something. I want you to drink responsibly. I want you to celebrate responsibly. Because I want you to come back. Blessings. Let's go. Let's go.
At Senjat's Usage donated $5 through Super Chat. They said 4 years because $2.4 billion of Activision tech asset amortization drops off books by FY29, July 1st, 2028. Instant margin boost. Gaslighting.
Facts. And that's our K&N affiliate. I'm going to have him on one day and he's going to talk tech. He's going to talk money. He's going to talk business side. He's going to talk actual paperwork. And I'm going to bring him on one day and we're going to have that. We got to schedule a day. But again, I want you to be responsible tomorrow. Now, you're going to have a lot of these younger kids that are going to probably destroy their communities. Understand something. The only reason why you destroy anything is because you own nothing. All right? If you own something, you protect it. If this city is your city and you value this city and you love this city, you will celebrate responsibly. You will do things that is in line and in coordinates with the law. Breaking the law is not celebrating. It's just breaking the law. And there's consequences and repercussions. There's going to be a lot of youth tomorrow that's going to realize what a first felony looks like. It's going to be an ostracization of job opportunities. It's going to be a castration of opportunities. It's going to leave you in a place of scrambling and trying to figure out how you're going to live off of working on the bare minimum of society. It's going to turn you into an individual that's going to force you to be beholden to what society offers you and not what you take. But this is Xbox Frontline News with your boy, The King. If you liked anything that you saw here, what I'm going to tell you to do is I'm going to tell you to go where game is game and win is win. And I'm going to tell you to try to play the Game Pass. But before you play the Game Pass, I told you I'm the unmitigated best at this. And if you think there's anyone better than me, then put them up.
What's a man or a king? What's it saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox. Spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talking, no riddling. Moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much making a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? What's it saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?